So guys, today I'm going to be going over Nadex. So some of you might have heard of Nadex, some of you may have not heard of it. It's a binary options product, and I just want to get a little bit of an idea. Have any of you guys ever traded Nadex? Anybody in this room? Or has anybody never even heard of it? So got a couple of people that have traded it. Demo account, never heard of it. So I was probably in the same boat as many of you guys where I had never heard of it or even traded Nadex up until last year. I love it. Rick, I love it too. So I had never heard of Nadex nor traded it up until last year. And to me, just being a trader, you hear about things. And so I was like, all right, well, I started off on a demo account like most traders would with any new product they're trading. And then I decided just last December, I was like, oh, well, let me just make a run on this. I figured my original goal was to take $250 into $2,000 in 3 trades. I was like, well, if I can, I think I'm pretty good at trading, right? So if I think I'm pretty good at trading, I should be able to figure this out, right? And what I did is I actually took that $250, and anybody want to guess? So I started this like the second week of December in 2015 and did it all the way up into the end of the year. I want to take some guesses here, and whoever's the closest, you can email me and I'll get you one of my company hats, which are really, really cool. And if you know the answer, you can't say. So you gotta be guessing. So I see a few answers that are correct. Everything from 20,000 to 4,000. So I started in December, the second week of December, and then by December 29th was the end of the market. So 3 weeks exactly. 22,000, 12,000. Bunch of people saying 16,000, 25,000, 250,000, $250. LOL. Okay, yeah. Well, all right. So enough of the teasing. I took that $250 into over 16,000 in 3 weeks. So $250 cash into 16,000 in about 3 weeks of time. Now, that was enough for me to think, oh my gosh, this is probably the coolest product I've ever traded. Real money. And I actually recorded all of the trades. So I do have those available for anybody that would be curious to watch. I literally recorded 250 to 500 to 1,000 and all the way up. So it was the fastest I've ever returned that percent. So for me, it was just an incredible feat to come up with such a high rate of return over such a short period of time. And I had figured out, well, maybe I found something that I could add to my trading arsenal for once. I mean, I haven't really changed up the way I've traded since I've begun trading, in a sense that, I stick to trading futures. I'm not really a big options trader. I used to be, but I've moved away from that. But this was the first product in 4 years that I had decided, okay, I can add this to my daily game plan. So first off, let me just go over the risk disclaimer. No representation is being made that the use of the strategy or any system or trading methodology will generate profits. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Anyways, in other terms, you guys are more than welcome to read this. Trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for every investor. Only trade risk capital you should be using to trade, and et cetera, et cetera. So anyways, guys, Tom Sosnoff, some of you guys might have heard of him. This is me and my prop desk on the left a couple of years ago. This is me and Tom Sosnoff, my show Get Trading at 22 with TastyTrade. Anyways, Tom Sosnoff, the $700 million man. It's a pretty cool opportunity. I got to teach a trading education show with him. That guy created Thinkorswim. So for any of you who use the Thinkorswim products, I would, go ahead and thank this guy, because I use Thinkorswim charts all day, every day, and I can't thank him enough for creating the product, because it's my favorite charting platform. So anyways, a little bit just about myself. I bought my first stock when I was 15. I've been absolutely fascinated with the markets from a young age. Kind of what got me in. People ask me, oh, does your dad do it? Does anybody in your family do it? And the answer really is no. I'm the only trader in my family. In fact, my dad probably would have told you he advised against it. But when I was younger, I used to read Forbes 500 magazine, right? The 500 richest people in the world. And and all my goal was to figure out what are all these people doing to make so much damn money? And all I knew from a young age was that investing, or if you had started a company, all your money was tied up in that stock, and all your wealth was market related. So that was what got me really into the markets at a pretty young age. I gave my dad like $500 and told him to buy a couple of shares of different companies. And really at 18, when I was allowed to open my own account, I went ahead and did. I put $1,000 of my own money in an options account, and I learned my first trading lesson. I'm sure any of you who have traded before, or especially options, you've probably learned this lesson too. But I had a little bit of beginner's luck. Took $1,000 into $5,000 my first month of trading options back in 2008. I then proceeded to lose every single dollar. So at 18 years old, blew my first options account, traditional options. But the thing was, I wasn't really that disappointed, because I was absolutely hooked on the idea that I had just generated that much money from my dorm room. And I said, well, I knew nothing, and I did this, and then I lost it all, of course. But the idea that this is a level playing field, and the only thing that's keeping me from taking it to the next level is my own skill set. So because I was young, because I didn't have a lot of money, my only edge when I began trading was really just the idea and the theory and process of that I need to be the most accurate as possible with my trade. So, rather than starting with $100,000, like maybe an older gentleman might able to do, I was never able to do that. So I always was so focused on price action and being an expert technical trader, which has led to my success today. When I was 20 years old in the Chicagoland area, I was actually able to study under a hedge fund manager. Took me under his wing. And from there, I was actually taught through a lot of the traders at his desk a lot of the skills I use today. Got my first job at a prop firm at 22. Did an educational class with Tom Sosnoff. And then, once again, like I said, in 2015, specifically December 2015, I had discovered the power of binary options when I took a $250 account to $16,000 in 13 days. And then I went on a lovely vacation with my girlfriend to Naples, Florida at the beginning of January with those profits, which is pretty cool. And that's just kind of the background on me. But enough of that. You guys are here to learn. So this is just a graph to kind of visually show you guys over the course of the day. So like I said, I do have all of these trades recorded. And I can get those over to you guys for anybody who would like to view them. But $250 is a little bit of a graph. I like to call it the reverse blowout. But what I'm about to teach you is how binary options work. Why, even if you do not have any idea what they are, you need to add them to your trading tool set. The one trade setup I used the other morning, and how that trade setup is really just a very quick time is of the essence setup. It really takes only 5 minutes a day to actually figure out if it's going to work or not, or figure out if it's going to set up. I continue to trade binary options to this day. This is just a screenshot from a trade I took last Friday, $7,000 P&L, and I've paid off every credit card bill this year with my binary options account, which is kind of funny that I started out with, just $250 and now I'm paying all my credit card bills with them. But anyways, this is just $8,000 profit I had last Friday, which was awesome. That'll pay my credit card bills for a while. But so for me, binary options are the perfect product for a technical analyst. How many of you guys out there would consider yourself technical analysts, or that you study technical markets? Like, that's your go-to? Bunch of yeses over here. So for me, like I said, I didn't start with a large amount of capital because I started at a young age. And so really my only edge was being a technical analyst. And that's why I believe I've developed the skills I have today and that I'm going to share with you guys, specifically a couple of trade setups I use. But for me, I like to break things down to simplicity. I think anytime traders make trading too complicated, where they're either looking at, like, 3 indicators and on the same time like trading 12 stocks, for me, I always try to remove that. Of generally focused on one product, and by focusing on one product in just a few setups, I've been able to just kind of master a few rather than be the jack of all trades. And that's just my theory on trading and how I think newer traders should begin. But let me explain if what a Nadex ticket will look like. On the right-hand corner, you will see this is what a Nadex order ticket is going to look like. So when you open up a Nadex account, the US 500, so they'll call it the US 500, that'll be the S&P 500, and it's all related to the futures product. So the US 500 is going to be 1947 in this specific instance. That's the strike price. All you're betting on this specific trade is, will we be above 1947 or will we be below? That's simple enough. With the traditional options account, say if you're buying SPY calls, etc., you have the implied volatility, the market maker move. You generally need a move the size of the market maker move to get 100% return. In this specific instance, if I were to buy, so I obviously say I have to buy on the offer, so I'd be paying $60 per contract here, which would give me a reward of 40, because the total contract value max is $100. So the index, it'll tell you what the index is actually trading at the time of execution. In this specific case, the index was trading at 1948.3, and the time at which it's trading. So if I want to bet that we're going to be below 1947, all I have to do is then sell on the offer. If I'm selling on the offer, this contract is going to cost me $45.50. So even though it says the bid is $54.50, what you are is you're actually debited $100 minus the bid for your account. But binary options are limited risk contracts based on a simple yes or no market proposition, like, will the markets be up at the end of the week? Binary options offer traders a way to trade the most active stock indices, commodities, Forex, events, and Bitcoin markets with relatively low collateral. Binary options are cash settled with all or nothing payout left till expiration. And if the contract is achieved, the settlement value is 100. If the contract condition is not achieved, this settlement value is 0. It is possible to close a contract prior to expiration to either take profits or cut losses. So that is kind of really the basics overview of how the options contract is going to work. Is there any questions related to how the product works and how you buy or sell before I move forward? And Debbie, the answer is yes. So is it trade with the dealer? So you're going to have, so that's one of the things people always wonder, is Nadex actually taking the other side of the trade? And the answer is no. Nadex is the exchange, similar to the way that the exchange would be, say, the CBOE. The CBOE isn't necessarily making the markets. They just have the exchange. I do not trade the bull spreads. So you have Nadex is the exchange. The market makers are independent from the Nadex profit. We'll get into the commissions in a second here. Can the brokers mess with your orders like Forex used to? No. It is regulated by the CFTC, so there's no funny games going on. And you also, unlike Forex, you can actually see the volume. So got a few orders going off. So here are a few examples. Here are a few benefits of trading Nadex binary options. All right, guys. One of the things, these are really the big things that I want to go over. Limited risk. The amount you can lose every trade is obviously your original investment. I don't know how many of you either are big short traders on OTC names or are option premium sellers, but obviously if you're either of those, you understand that you're trading on margin, and it is actually possible to lose more money than you can make. So that is huge. Just to know that your risk is capped, that's a product I want to trade. I like to trade products where my risk is capped. I mean, I do trade futures. Technically, you could trade futures and lose more money and then in your account, but that's not something I want to be concerned with. Also, there's low initial collateral required. So binary contracts are going to be priced between 0 and 100. For me, binary contracts, the fact that I was able, I didn't know anything about binaries when I first started trading, but I was able to start with $250. You're not opening futures account where you should say fund with, I don't know, at least 5,000, or a day trading account where you need 25 grand. I was starting with something where I could start with a very small capital and potentially do something great with it. And for me, that was like, okay, well, I'm willing. I trade every day. I'm willing to take that risk. Low collateral to start. Just do 200 bucks in. Thought I could do well. In fact, I ended up doing incredible, which was just very surprising to me, but totally changed the way I trade in the products I trade. Short-term contracts, so binaries have expirations ranging from 20 minutes to 1 week. I like the idea of having binary expirations from 20 minutes to 1 week, because what that's doing is when you trade traditional options, generally speaking, the market maker is pretty much determining your expiration, right? You have like two choices here. You have the weeklies or the monthlies. So even if you want to trade any product, you really only have a few options for your expiration. Well, what if I don't want a whole week? What if I don't want to go out as far as a month? What if I just want to be right a few days after? I just had an order filled. But one of the things I do in my trading room is actually trade live. So I'm actually long 2 ticks off the low here. Got to switch this order up, just covered half. Try to ride this one today. But my favorite part about binary options is when you enter the contract, your profit or loss will be based on where price is. So I don't need to be worried about, say, what if you're looking at traditional options, I can't price on the fly in my head what an option contract will be priced if, say I buy a SPY call, we're trading 200 and we go to 201. Now I could know an idea of what it'll be, or what that SPY call will be trading around 201, but I don't know exactly. With binary contracts, I'm going to know exactly what my profit or loss will be. So I'm removing the psychological confusion and all of the things that you need to know what a price will be of an option when you're thinking about delta, gamma, theta. So to eliminate that is huge for me. Price is king. I'm a technical trader. That's all I trade off of. I don't use indicators. I don't use anything of that sort. I literally just look at where price has been and where I think it'll go, and I find myself to be very good at that. Binary options are the best product for price action traders, and I don't think it'd be easy for everybody to do what I did, but I do think learning the correct skill set associated with price action trading, you can be really, really successful with Nadex. So what is the cost commission structure with Nadex? Trading fees are generally very, very low compared to traditional options, and that's because your commission is actually capped at 9 lots. So 1 to 10 lots, you're going to be looking at 90 cents per lot. And then once you get to 10 lots, it's completely capped. So when you start trading over 10 lots, your risk is going, or your commission is going to be capped at $9. So whether you're trading 200 contracts or 50, it's going to cost you the same amount of money. And then lots 11 and above are going to have no additional fees, which is great, because last time I actively traded options was like 2013, like traditional options, and I racked up over $20,000 in commissions. And for me, that was like a kind of a wake-up call, like, my goodness, that was a lot of money. So having those cap commissions to me is huge. Expiration times are going to be given in Eastern Standard Time. And the spreads on the daily are usually $3 to $6. So the spreads on the daily contract are going to be $3 to $6. So it's just something you want to be aware of. Spreads are going to be where the market makers have their edge. You probably think, well, how would a market maker make any money in this kind of market? They're going to make it on the spreads. I mean, just like traditional option makers, market makers make all their money on the spreads. That's really how the Nadex structure works for the market makers. Another reason I like the Nadex product, there's no high frequency traders and they're front running my orders. I don't know how many of you guys have ever traded, whether it be on a prop desk or just, larger size where you have your orders getting front run. I'll tell you what, it's no fun. So traditional options are complicated. I always like to say, like a fraternity, everyone's on the bandwagon and nobody's thinking for themselves. Why do people trade options? Because everyone's doing it. Options trading is cool. All the brokerage houses push options trading because it is their most lucrative trading product. Option traders are generally, some kind of active trader because there's lower collateral for traditional options than there would be for stocks. Traders are actually placing more trades. So whether it be E-Trade, Thinkorswim, or any of the other brokerage houses, they really push options trading on everybody because it is their most lucrative trading vehicle in terms of the commissions it can generate. So I just think that's why, I started out as an options trader when I first began trading, but over time I've just realized that I'm better at other things. One of the things I think, if you want to be a professional options trader, the things you need to be able to compute on the fly are delta, gamma, theta, vega, volatility versus historical volatility. For me, that is way too much information to be computing on the fly, while at the same time I'm trying to figure out my entry and exit, and then I need to time that as well. That's just a lot for me to do. Don't want to be involved with that. One of my favorite quotes by Bernard Baruch, who's a famous speculator, he says, "If a speculator is correct half of the time, he is hitting a good average. Even being right 3 or 4 times out of 10 should yield a person a fortune if he has the sense to cut his losses quickly on the ventures where he is wrong." Well, theoretically, the market can do 2 things, right, guys? It goes up or it goes down. And that's why I love Nadex, because really that's all I'm betting on. Are we going up or are we going down? I'm removing from the equation, are we going up or are we going down? And how much are we going up by? And how much are we going down by? And when do I need to exit? and all those things that for me have always made traditional options a complicated mechanism. So when I discovered binary options, I just said, well, I don't really know if we're going to go up 2 or 20 points. I just think this level of support is going to hold, and I'm willing to put some risk on this trade and not be so concerned of it. So once again, a little bit more about how binary options work. So say gold here is going to be right around 1700 on the strike. The expiration is going to be 1:30 p.m. If you think we're going to be above 1700 at 1:30, you bet yes. If you think we'll be below, you bet no. That's simple. 2 options, unlike a traditional option where you're betting how much higher, and you need to know the volatility versus historical volatility as well as the expected move, really eliminating a lot of that confusion by just saying, are we going to be higher or are we going to be lower? The price at which you buy or sell is not the actual price of the gold, but the value between 0 and 100. So you're not actually betting on the price of the gold in the contract. You're betting on it relative to the contract. So for example, this contract would have been 42.5 bid by 48.5 ask. The bid is the price to sell. So if you're anticipating it to go lower than 1700, you sell, and the second is the offer to buy. If you are anticipating it to be above, you're obviously buying. So the bid offer price is going to fluctuate throughout the day, but always settles near 100 if the answer is yes, or 0 if the answer is no. So 100 if you're right, 0 if you're wrong. Pretty simple. Your profit loss is calculated using the difference between the settlement price, 0 or 100, and your opening price that you bought or sold at. So I have 6 setups that I use, and I actually keep them on my desk. It's like a photo form of these setups. And because for me, I just, like I said many times, I like to make trading simple. So I printed out a piece of paper with all of the photos of the setups I use. And I'm going to teach you guys one right now. I call this the charge trade. And this is something that occurs when the market is trending in either direction. The trigger is on the third 15-minute bar. So this is when I say you don't need a lot of time to figure out if this trade is going to work. This is exactly why. So all you need to do to figure out this trade is at the end of 45 minutes, it'll tell you if the third 15-minute bar, you need all of them to be either red or green. So the first 3 50-minute bars need to either be all red or all green. The other thing I like to see is a gap. So whether it's a gap up and we trend down, or if it's a gap down and we trend up, or if it's a gap up and we trend up, it doesn't matter. So these are the specific criteria I'm looking for in this trade. Like I said, I really like to define what I'm looking for in a trade before taking it, so I have something to measure myself against. But what I'll do is in the first 45 minutes of the day, we'll play out. I'll look to see if we have this potential trade setting up. And then from there, I will pull a 50% retracement. How many of you guys know what a 50% retracement is? Got a bunch of yeses and a couple of nos. So a 50% retracement, so Fibonacci sequences, pretty common in trading. A 50% retracement, I'll go over that right now, all it is some people call it a halfway back. I call it a 50% retracement. But this is that specific setup here. So I'll go over it again. We have a gap up, which is gap up or gap down, doesn't matter. That's one of the first things you want to look for. You have a gap up followed by 1, 2, 3 bars all closing to the same side. So we have down bar, down bar, down bar. And then this is a 50% retracement here. And I can actually pull up my ES chart and show you guys kind of just what, and we can go, I'll go over the settings in my program, but all it is you need your Fibonacci drawing tool. Go to 15-minute chart, and then you just pull a high to a low. Fibonacci retracements are used by many traders, but really all you're doing is you're measuring a sell-off or a rally and then kind of cutting it in half and looking for an entry. Works pretty well, but you got to know when to use it. Like anything in trading, you have to have some kind of a filter. You can't just be pulling highs to lows all day and expecting them all to hold. That's not how this game works. So I've defined the criteria I'm looking for specifically in this case, and these are the trades I use to, you know, do my returns. Now, this isn't a trade that's going to happen very often, but I have 6 of them, and this trade occurs about once every 2 weeks for me, which is enough because, you know, that's if I have 6 trades, one of them is going to be occurring every day. But this is my favorite one because it works very, very well for me. So what we have here is we have a 50% retracement, and that's where I'm looking for my entry. In this case, when you're getting into a trade in Nadex, all you need, and I've gone over this, all you need is price to be slightly below where your strike is. So as we come up into this 50% retracement short, what I'll be looking for is I'll be looking for Nadex to say trade below 1930. So if the 50% retracement short is at 1933 here, I'm going to look just a little bit out, say 1930 to 1931, and all I'm saying is, hey, by the end of the day or by the end or in 2 hours, I think we will be lower than that price. Okay, so for the criteria for the trade, first we're looking for the trigger to set up. You have to gap up 3, 1, 2, 3 15-minute closes to the downside, and then your entry and where you're going to determine the strike price you're going to buy. No, this is market open. This is Central Standard Time. I'm in Chicago. Where you're going to determine the price you're going to buy is the closest strike price to that 50% retracement. All right, and then this is the same trade on the upside. You have a gap up. 1, 2, 3, 15-minute closes all in the same direction, right? So what's next? So just kind of a little bit of a test. We have a gap up, 3, 1, 2, 3, 15-minute closes in the same direction. And then what's the next step here for those of you who have been paying attention? Brian, I use Thinkorswim. Pullback, exactly, Edwin. So then what we're looking for is that fib, that 50% retracement, because we want good trade location. We don't want to just be throwing anything out there. And I think that's a lot of, I mean, when I first started trading, I'd just be like, I didn't know where to enter. I didn't have a game plan. I just like buy when I saw the market going up and sell when it went down. I'll tell you what, that was like a disastrous game plan. How many of you guys like have ever done that? You first start trading, you become a chaser. Can I get some I'm guilty hands raised, because I'm guilty. So once again, you're going to be looking for that Nadex strike price closest to the 50% retracement, just slightly above. And all I need is by the end of the day, price to be above that level. Okay, which is huge for me, because a lot of times I'll get in, like I used to trade a lot of options, like traditional options, before I just moved to solely focus on futures. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'd get in a trade, but not really know when to exit. Like I'd have a target in mind, but when that target would hit, I would be so conflicted in kind of figuring out, okay, well, now it's at my target, but do I exit because that 200% winner could turn into a 500% winner? I mean, how many times have you guys been in a trade where you've reached your target and you've decided that you're going to be greedy and continue to hold on? So in this case, I'm betting for the price to be above. Because what I'm doing, the reason I'm buying above the 50% strike, and that's a good question, is because I usually only like to pay, less than $50 per contract, because if you could bet that we're going to stay above the 1902 and say you could buy a contract at 1900, but that 1900 contract is going to skew your risk to reward to be less than 1-to-1. Generally in this trade setup, if it's going to work, it's going to continue. So I like a 1-to-1 at least or better. So yeah, so like a 1905, because it's all relatively close. And if this trade setup is going to hold, I want to get paid more on my risk. In fact, I have a really, really big trade on right now into the end of the week where I'm risking 1 to make 8. So sometimes I'll go with the higher risk reward ratios that just really are not available in a traditional options account and the way just traditional options are priced. So same setup, go over, let's just make sure I have answered all these questions here. What about stochastics? Don't use them. Don't use any. I mean, if you like them, go ahead and use them. I don't use them. How do I choose the expiration times? Very good question. The expiration times I will choose, and it's part of the criteria in this trade, is I will go 1 to 2 hours out. So Nadex has a bunch of strikes on the daily. So in this trade, I'll do actually 2 different expirations. I'll go all the way out to the end of the day. Okay, so if I go all the way out to the end of the day, I'm having the entire day to decide, do I want to take profit? Should I cut my loss? Or will this just expire in the money and I don't have to do either? And then I'll go for the immediate move, which depending on what time the pullback happens, I'll buy anywhere between 1 hour to 2 hours out. So 60 minutes to 120 minutes out. It all depends on what the time's traded, because they have expirations on the top of every hour. So you need to be the closest to that. So 1 to 2 hours out. I can show you a live example. I mean, I'm trading the ES right now, but I do not have this trade setup is not happening right now. I'd love for this trade setup to happen, but I can show you a live example of the last time I took it, but this setup just hasn't occurred yet today. But I am trading the ES, and I do trade the ES live every day. Can you only do it on a gap? Dennis, for me, I'll do it occasionally on non-gap days where you have 3 15-minute bars. But one thing you'll notice is on gap days, this just has a higher success rate. On the data mining I've done, Linda, this trade has a success rate of about 78%, which is pretty good. So the Russell, this is the same setup in the Russell, all right? 1, 2, 3 closes down. Red, right? Look for that 50% retracement for the entry. You're buying 1 to 2 hours out, and then the end of the day, betting the closest strike to 10, 12. My stop is if price, so in this case, this is a short. If price takes out the high of the day, I will take myself out of the trade, because that's my stop. So my target I'll generally just hold the trade to the end of the day for max expiration. So that's a good question. The question is, why do you say the third one down, but you were using the 4th candle? So the third candle down is just the trigger, right? So, but then I still want to buy the 50% of the entire move. I use mental stops. I do not. In futures, I will trade with automatic stops, but I do not use manual stops in Nadex. Yes, I trade the ES on the binary options. So because I mean, I'm an ES trader predominantly. That's literally my go-to product every single day, taking 4 to 8 trades a day live in my trading room. And so because I focus on one product, I'm eliminating the noise of rumors in stocks, just too much going on. And just by, I mean, like I said, I really just don't like traditional options. You've probably gotten that from my spiel. They're just way too complicated, I think, for the traditional trader. I mean, it's just a lot to compute. And there's just, I mean, when I'm entering a trade and I can go, you know, short a spread, long a spread, short calls, long calls, short puts, broken leg butterfly, you name it. To me, that just makes trading way more sophisticated than it needs to be, and just puts, if when I have 45,000 different options and ways to put on the trade, I'm less focused on the price action and more concerned with, am I putting on the right strategy? Because based on the historical volatility or the gamma, delta, theta, I want to get rid of that. I don't want to be thinking about these things. I want to be thinking about price entry points and focusing on that. So in here, yes, I would have taken the 10-10 strike. Edwin, I'm not exactly sure if I understand your question. To me, this would be the trend. I'm buying or selling in the direction of the trend. In this specific case, we're going down. There's 3 50-minute closes to the downside off the open. That tells me there's a lot of selling pressure in my eyes. That says, okay, well, hey, there is you know, a lot of momentum to the downside, and I think we should continue that way through the rest of the day. And so as we trade up, that's going to give me a favorable entry, because generally selling, I mean, we're always going to trade back and forth, right? The indices, nothing goes straight down or straight up. I wish it did. That'd be really, really easy to trade. You just buy and then sell, right? But that's not how it works. So you need to pick a really good entry to give yourself a favorable position. Could you go back to the slide explaining the chart trade? Yeah, so I'll leave this up so you guys can take some notes, because I'm sure see a lot of you guys are interested in this stuff now. So just so you guys can write down these rules, because you're going to need them to trade this way. If it gaps down and there's 3 green candles, that trade is still going to be in effect. It doesn't matter which way it trades after the gap, as long as it trades in the same direction for 3 15-minute bars. Yep, so if the market's trending down, so the 3 15-minute candles off the open are down, you're looking to be short. If they're up, you're looking to be long. Pretty simple. You know, like I said, let's make trading as least complicated as possible, guys, because that is going to help us win. Cool. All right, go to the next slide here. So this is kind of what I was talking about before. You want to go out the hourly. So I don't buy expirations with less than 45 minutes. For me, it's just not enough time to manage the trade. Now, some people, like if you're kind of like a breakout trader and you know your price levels pretty well, you can trade those 20-minute expirations. I just prefer to go on a larger time to kind of give myself more time to manage the trade. Those 20, I have a friend that'll, the way he trades it, he actually only trades risk 1 to make 4 setups. So he uses the smaller time frames on bigger support and resistance levels. But that's just my style. I 80% of the time am going to let the options expire if I'm in a winning position. Now, the way I'll manage the trade is, we all have ideas of how the market should look when you get into a trade. If I get into a trade and the market doesn't look how I thought it would, but is still going my direction, I'll get out of at least half of that trade. Because the market should do what you think it's going to do if it's going to do that. And I don't want to risk a lot of money if it's not doing what I thought it would, even if I'm right. I'd rather save that for another trade where I'm right and I'm making money right off the bat. It's about carrying those profits forward and waiting for that good shot. Because you're always going to, right? We're traders. We're always going to get another trade. There's no need to just be so stubborn about one trade. I think that's another mistake that new traders make. So why traders fail, guys? They trade products they don't understand. They don't know the exact max risk and the exact max reward, which creates psychological confusion. They're constantly worried about, oh, where am I going to exit? Where am I going to enter? I mean, that is really, not easy whatsoever. Okay, a lot of traders, when they first start trading, they don't have defined setups. I've defined 6 setups. I just taught you guys one of them. They'll trade lagging momentum indicators rather than price. They're reacting to price rather than planning a trade. Chasing up, chasing down, and just a general lack of technical skills are literally condensed. I mean, I condense this as why traders fail, because the reason I know why traders fail is because I used to fail as a trader. All right? I no longer fail as a trader. I have defined my setups. I have eliminated lagging momentum indicators, and I have created the technical skills needed to be trading. And while I've been teaching you guys, I'm actually up $3,600 trading. So, I mean, the only reason I'm showing you this is because this is what I do live in my trading room every single day. And my goal is really to just educate other people on what I've learned, because getting to this stage in my trading career was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. Now, I haven't been married or had kids, but for me, trading has definitely been the hardest thing I've ever done. And it probably is for a few of you guys in this room the hardest thing you've ever done. And what I've done is I've actually developed a course around this stuff. And the 4 steps you need to learn how to trade is you need to trade a product with risk to reward known at your entry. Eliminate the psychological confusion, all right? Reduce your complexity and define setups that will occur every day of trading. Execute those setups based on price and ignore the noise of indicators. So I have this brand new course that I've created. It's my 6 best setups to trade Nadex. The 6 setups I use it to earn $250 into 16,000 in 13 days. And I'm going to share that with you guys. You need a small initial investment. You definitely should start on a demo like I did just to get it down. You're going to be able to increase your leverage. You're going to be able to choose your option to expiration. The exchange isn't going to choose it for you. Nadex is also the only CFTC-regulated binary options exchange, so there's no games by foreign market players. When I first heard about binary options, I think the first broker I came across asked me to send my money to Cyprus. I was like, yeah, I don't think so. CFTC, actually, I believe they have market makers that are CBOE connected. So this is also a product that's lifetime access. Once you purchase it, you literally are going to have absolute lifetime access for your entire trading career, and you're going to learn how to use fibs. So I'm sure a lot of you have had some fib training. You probably don't have the training that I have, because I got an opportunity to study at a hedge fund, and I share all my secrets here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer this to you guys today only for $97 to the first 30 traders. You're going to get my best 6 setups to trade Nadex, which is $197 value. You're going to get my trade grids. You're going to get a lifetime membership access, which is literally a $2,000 value, today only for $97. And then what you're going to have on top of that is you're going to have the option to come join my trading room for $7 for a month. So in my trading room I trade live the ES every single day, and I also talk about the Nadex trades that I'm taking. You're going to see this on my screen, and this is a trading account where I'm trading, generally trading at 10 lot, sometimes, you know, maybe smaller size if I'm downsizing. And I am completely transparent with the trades I take when I'm in my trade room, and I show my dome on the screen. Then I'm going to answer a couple of questions here. Do I trade currencies as well? I used to trade the 6E a lot. I no longer trade it. Do any large players, pros in Nadex, control or manipulate this market? In order to control the manipulation of Nadex, you would actually need to manipulate the indices. And considering the S&P 500 is the most liquid futures contract out there, it's next to impossible to manipulate. And the other thing with Nadex, your size is you're going to be capped. Once you start making $10,000, $20,000 trades in Nadex, that's about as high as the liquidity goes right now. So when you're placing trades larger than 10 or 20 grand, and that becomes a problem, now that's per indice, per lot, they're going to be 200 deep. The bids and offers are going to be 200 deep. Now, if your problem is your size is too big, well, then you've won. But that's like anything else. So there's no manipulation. Is that the Nadex platform you're showing? No, that is a futures platform. Yes, I would agree. Trading is the most rewarding self-employment business anyone could possibly have. Absolutely. Can this be used trading in the evenings around 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? So that's a good question as to what the Nadex exchange is going to offer for, you know, post-market trading opportunities. Now, you're always going to have the weeklies and the dailies trading post-market for the S&P and other markets alike. One thing, though, is if you really want to be active during those time frames, you can use these setups to either trade actually the Japanese markets, the Chinese markets, or any of the major currency pairs, such as the yen, the US Aussie dollar, the euro, etc. So all the major currency pairs, gold, oil, those are all going to be the ones you're going to be wanting to trade in the overnight, unless you're looking to take a daily position. Kathy, I'm not sure what you mean. Those are futures. This is a futures contract, but you got to realize that all my binary trades are taken off the futures market. So it's just two different ways to execute. It's two different ways to execute. So you can either execute, I mean, that's why I'm trading the same market with just two different products. In the trade room, you show ES futures trades. Do you show Nadex trades? I'll just talk about my Nadex trades. I'll show them occasionally, but it's not something I'm doing live. I mean, every day. But I'm trading futures live every day, and I'll be like, hey, I'm buying Nadex here or there. Is there a replay for this? I was trading. I missed your presentation. I was trading during my presentation too. I think there should be a replay, but I'm not positive. If you have any questions, you can email support@majorleaguetrading.com. support@majorleaguetrading.com. But once again, guys, this is going to be something I'm going to offer to the first 30 traders only. Okay? So first 30 traders are going to get this deal, and then I'm going to cut it off. But this is a $2,000 value. And you're getting it for 97 bucks. Can your setups be applied to higher time frame charts such as the daily and 4 hour? Absolutely. In fact, a lot of them are actually just based on the 1 hour chart. Trading is the toughest to master. Definitely. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, right? But the good thing about Nadex is you don't have to start with a lot of money. So if it ends up being tough, like for me, I was willing to risk $250. I mean, you got to ask yourself the question, are you willing to risk that amount of money to potentially learn something that could add and change your trading arsenal like it has mine? Look forward to working with you. Awesome, Cedric. I'll see you there. I'll be in the room later today. So if you actually sign up today, you'll be live trading in the room with me later today. Is it $97 we pay, or are there more fees to learn your methods? It's literally $97, and that is lifetime access. Like I said, if you want to be in my room for 30 more days, that's going to be an extra $7 if you want to watch me live trade for 7 days and ask me questions, or I mean 30 days. But literally the entire course is exactly as what I said it is, and there's not another fee. As soon as you pay, you're given absolute lifetime access. No questions asked. What brokers at Dome? Stage 5. The strategy that you teach can later be used like in other things like gold, etc. Yeah, it absolutely can be used in other things. I'll use it. I mean, price patterns are the same across markets, right? The important thing is to define those price patterns. So what I've done, and you guys are going to get it. When you sign up, I got this piece of paper on my desk that I keep. Literally, I print it out, and it doesn't leave my desk. It's a picture of all the setups that I use. The trades are called the halfway back, the bully, the flunk, the dive, and the leg start. Define them all. I have written explanations as well as photos. To me, this is like, it's like my cheat sheet. I don't know when the last time anybody here ever took a test, but you know those teachers that let you come in and they let you bring a page of notes? That's what I feel like this is on my desk. It's like a page of cheat notes that always reminds me that, hey, am I taking the right trade? So this is going to be something you guys get. What I got on my desk, I want you guys to go out and print out and put on your desk because it really helps me, and I know it'll help you. So one of the things, a couple of questions here. What do you do after you buy? What I want you to do is, like I said, print out those 6 setups that I've clearly defined here, okay? And then I need you to plan your trade using these setups. Don't just go in gun-ho slinging. Really study these setups I'm teaching you and plan your trades according to them. I want you to keep a journal as well. Keep a journal and trade the setups according to your results. So some setups you might find this one works way better, or that one works way better for you for whatever reason. You're good at picking out that setups. Just keep track. I recommend, like, if you really want to go through a demo, I do recommend like 36 trades. That's kind of my number. You take 36 trades on a demo and you mark which ones, because the simplest part is where you right or where you wrong. You don't have to calculate like how much money you made or etc., because it's all binary, right? It's just you're right or you're wrong. It's that simple. So it's a little easier to track than say like a stock trading journal where you got to, your profits, your entry, your exit, etc. I mean, you don't need all that. Just check, write the type of trade in the market, and like this is the stuff that's going to take you from being I want to be a trader to, hey, I'm a consistently professional trader. All right, these are the drills that took me from, hey, I want to be a trader, hey, I'm a consistently professional trader making 6 figures a year in my pajamas. One of the questions I always like to tell people, before you get in a trade, ask yourself, what is the trend? Is it up or is it down? Simply put. Where is major support and resistance and where is minor support and resistance? These are just things I'm telling and asking myself when I'm in the trade. And these are things I think newer traders should be asking them as well. Are trades placed through Nadex? Yes. Is there a replay of your daily live room? No, there is not. You know, it's 8 hours of video every single day that I would have to render and upload. It would just be a nightmare. I am in. How do I order? MLTnadex.com, guys. It's simple. That's the link. $97 today only. Okay, first 30 traders. I don't know. I haven't checked how many we've had sign up, but I'm sure it's getting close to that number. Yeah, so the question is, in the trade you are in now, is your entry 2035? Yes. My entry is actually 2035 half, so I'm 2 ticks off the low right now. What I'll do usually, and I teach my future, if you're interested in futures trading too, you'll definitely learn that in my room. But I'll usually get out of half the trade and then kind of hold the other half for a potential runner. And if it's not looking good, then I'll just exit the trade, which right now I might end up doing. We'll see here. I'm going to give it a test at 37.25. But I've already locked in 3 points in this trade, so as long as my stop stays where it is, I can't take a loss. But I go over that strategy as well. But that's the cool thing. Like once you get into really trading the ES, okay, I've seen plenty of professional traders out there, and the traders, the best traders I know, or should I say the traders that make the most amount of money trading, are almost all futures traders. I don't know if any of you guys have ever read the book Market Wizards. Let me go back. I think I got a couple slides here. All right, yeah, this one's my favorite. So how many of you guys got a stack of books like this in your room? And you've read them? I mean, I'm passionate about trading. I'm sure a hell of a you guys are all passionate about trading. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, right? You wouldn't be here if you weren't passionate about trading. If you're passionate about trading, you most likely got at least a couple books in your room. I'll tell you what, none of them really ever taught me how to trade, but that's fine. They've inspired me. They've inspired me to be a trader, right? How much is your trading room after the first month? It's going to be $99. What broker do we need? You're going to need Nadex as your broker. So Nadex is the actual brokerage account. So you're going to need, we got all that information inside of the course in terms of where to sign up, how to sign up, what information you need, etc. But you are going to be signing up for another brokerage account because Nadex is another brokerage account. Can we take this over even if I am not buying it right now? I'm not exactly sure what that means. This is an offer available today only, so you can buy it later, but it'll cost more money. Being in the trading room, a cost after the first month, yeah, it's a $99 fee after the first month, but if you don't want to afford that, I'll tell you what, for an entire month, $7, it's definitely worth it because a lot of trading rooms, they just have people in there talking. I don't really do a whole lot of talking all day, only talk on necessary levels, but I'll tell you what I do all day, which is trade live. Not a lot of people do that. Everybody likes to teach a course. I trade one. There's a huge difference between that. Why do you use 3 15-minute candles, not the hourly? It's just the back testing data that I've just discovered works the best. Please unmute me. You're all muted. None of you can talk to me. I can only see. That's just how this works, guys, if this is your first go-to webinar. What platform is traded on? Nadex. Where do you sign up for the $7 trading room? What is the fee thereafter? As soon as you buy the course, you're going to give an option to sign up for the trading room. That option is going to be, it's just, you just click it and for an extra $7. So we can also trade and follow the ES futures in your room? Absolutely. Can you trade Nadex and IRA? No, you cannot. If we opted out of the 30A in the room by accident, can we still sign up for the room? Yeah, David, email support@majorleaguetrading.com. Yep, so Michelle, just go ahead and email support. If you're interested, you can check out they're on my YouTube. So for anyone who wants to see me take that $250 into 16,000, the videos are on my YouTube, majorleaguetrading.com. Or you can go to my site, majorleaguetrading.com, but you can go to the YouTube. Just look up Major League Trading. They're on there. I'm new to trading. Maybe I do not know trend direction. Is that a minus to get in your program? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Carlos. I have not done this before. Can I be successful? I mean, that's a question you have to answer. I'll tell you what, when I first started trading, I had not done that before, and I was successful. But it is going to come down to each trader's own individual ability to determine the trend and market conditions, just like anything else. I personally think that Nadex is the easiest thing for newer traders to start because options are sophisticated, stocks are noisy, and futures are, require lots of margin. So for me, if I were to start my whole trading career over again and had one product to start with, it would be Nadex. Gunter, you should get the confirmation fairly quickly. Carlos, unfortunately, everything is automated, so I'm not going to be able to specifically just let you have a membership and activate it later. That's just too much work for me to do. If I were to do that for everybody, all of a sudden I'm answering 20 extra emails a day. Awesome. See a lot of people looking to be excited in this room. But yeah, you guys should get your confirmation fairly early here. I hope you guys get an opportunity to join me in the room. We got a lot of news coming up. FOMC. Let's see, we got FOMC. And yeah, we got Draghi speaking tomorrow. Got a couple levels here, but anyways, guys, any more questions relating to that? I think I got about 7 minutes left. You can go to my live, give you guys a little more idea what you're going to see in my trading room. So this is the grid I get. You guys are going to get this grid with the purchase of the Nadex program. So this is kind of what I look like, or I'm sorry, look like. You guys know what I look like. This is what I look at every single day. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the NICE tick. So this is a NICE tick on the left-hand side, kind of gives me it's like the heartbeat of the market, gives me an idea. And then really all I'm doing is I'm just using support and, I just use this price level tool and I determine levels of support and resistance that I want to trade off of. And then I just trade off those levels. I try not to chase price. Chasing price has always been an expensive habit. Do you ever trade Forex? Not a big Forex trader. A lot of people saying, I think it's too good to be true. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, like, I mean, that's probably what I would think if I were to watch this. But, a lot of people also think my room's too good to be true because I've had a lot of traders come to me and say, well, I've never traded futures before, but I do appreciate the fact that you're trading live in front of us because, guys, I don't make money every day. And anybody that claims to make money every day or claims to have found a system with a 95% win rate is pretty much full of BS. But what I do is I trade and people see my mistakes. And for me, sometimes it's hard. I mean, for watching people, like obviously people congratulate you as you do well, but you get, I mean, people are like, hey, why'd you take that trade? That was a bad trade. I mean, that's just one of the things that, just being a trading educator, it's just part of the game. You can, yes, that's a good question. Do you ever sell Nadex options like writing equity options? You actually can become the house, exactly. So I could go out and sell, like, say if I don't think we're going to break above yesterday's high, I can go out and sell that Nadex range up there. I can sell those highs. This trade's not looking good. Let's see here. 3 candles from the open, is that only in the ES? You can apply it to other indices. I mean, like I said, I just trade the ES. So if you want to go ahead and just take that setup and back test it on whatever product you'd like to trade, go right ahead. I haven't done that. My stops in the ES are generally 3 points. but I'll move them, but I just won't take more than a 3-point loss. I mean, at that point, I'm just wrong. That's enough money, you don't need more room than that. Need some bids here. Otherwise, we're going to make a new low. So yeah, I use Thinkorswim charts, but I don't trade through Thinkorswim. Don't tell them. I think a lot of people do that. I like the functionality of Thinkorswim charts. When is the open? 8:30 Central Standard Time, if you're referring to the market. Is a dome from Nadex on your trading platform? No. This is futures, it's the same chart. I mean, it's just a different way to trade it. It's like kind of trading like stocks and options, but I'm trading the same stock. And Nadex is the option, and this is the stock, if that makes sense. Yep, so I mainly trade ES futures, and Nadex is an add-on. So it's just kind of generally, like futures, I'll take more trades. The spread's tighter in futures. Nadex, I'm kind of looking. That's when I see like a bigger move coming. I'll get in on a Nadex trade. When versus like futures, because I can manage it on like really like on a tick by tick basis. So I'm more willing to take trades from futures than Nadex, like actively. What is the open when futures are involved? I don't know what you mean by the open. I will show you how to set up Thinkorswim charts. Yep, it's part of the package. I'm going to show you guys how to set up your fib settings correctly, like I have them, as well as Thinkorswim charts, like I have them. All right, guys, got about 2 more minutes here. I just want to say a thank you for your time. If you guys have signed up and you haven't got an email yet, what I want you to do is I want you to check your promotions folder, your spam folder. Occasionally the email logins will go into there. I do look forward to any of you guys who have decided to, I know it's a risk to sign up for a new traders program. We're all, promised all these things, and I really just encourage you to join my program because I'm open with the trades I'm taking in my room, and I really feel like I could add a lot of value to your trading skill set. And if you're not interested, you're not interested. We're all here with the same game plan to try to make a living out of this, right? To live the freedom of a trader. And I encourage you all to continue to pursue your passions as a trader, because when I first started trading, everybody told me I couldn't do it, and here I am doing it. How long is my trade room open? Open to close. So I open it, like usually get in around like 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, goes till 3 o'clock. Every morning I create a video trade plan. Me or my partner create a video trade plan, then we share levels on Thinkorswim. If you guys know how that share program works. Awesome, Gunter. Yeah, so one of the things that's cool in the morning, so we're going to have the levels here, and I'll draw the levels in a morning trade plan video, and then I'll actually just click this share button, and what that'll do, I just had a news pop, I think that's actually oil coming out. What that'll do is that'll create, so then I can create a link for sharing. This is a really cool function that we have in our trade room. So I'm going to create a link for sharing, and then I copy that link and I paste it in my room, and then you guys actually load it up. We'll show you how to do all this. You guys will actually load it up, and everything I have on my screen, you'll be able to populate on your screen, the support and resistance levels, etc. And guys, I really do have a passion for trading like most of you guys, and that's really why I started an education company. I think, when I first started trading, honestly, it was a really, really painful journey, and this is kind of my way to give back. I really don't need the money. Like I said, it made $3,500 while sitting here talking to you. There's no way I'm going to sell that many courses. I'm a trader. I'm a trader first, educator second, and looking to change the way that trading is taught. So I hope you guys join me in my trading room. Anyways, I think that's it for me, and I'll see you guys there.